Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. It's Thursday, it is head and face shave time. It's been a couple of days since I've been at the doctors, I've booked in for scans, I've got the kids all at home now, so they're doing some tests at the moment, some work for me, the teacher. So I've got a bit of peace and quiet, knock out a head shave and then I'll knock out a face shave afterwards, once I've got the next piece of work. Anyway, for the face shave and the head shave, or should I say head shave and then the face shave, Mitchell's Wool Fat today. Obviously one of the staples of many shaving dens and one of the best shaving soaps that I have actually used. In all honesty, I haven't really used many better soaps, and even though I only recently started using it, it quickly became one of my favourites. I love the scent of it, I love the performance of it. It's obviously going to last a long time. Quite a quiet, sombre shave today, so it won't be fully boisterous as my usual bullshit sort of shaves. Right, the brush, it's finally came back round. Actually part of the rotation now, it's not just been stuck in the middle. And it's my 28mm Rhodium That Darn Rock brush. So here we go. The soap, as you can see, is really full. There's two pucks in here, one that was pretty well used, and then a brand new puck on top of that was very kindly gifted to me. So I'm just gonna load her up nice and heavy. Right, that'll do it. Far too much, but really, for me, you can never add too much. I'm just going to rinse the soap in the water. I don't have to because I'm using it for my face shave, but it's just habit. So rinse that, tip it upside down. In fact, I'll just leave it the same way up and let the water just sit on top. Right, just wet the head. I just had a shower about an hour ago. I was going to have a shave straight after it, but the kids' schoolwork came first, so I've been Googling and researching and all sorts. So they're doing some persuasive writing at the moment. So they've got a 40-minute timer, which I started about 4 minutes ago to finish that off. They've chosen their own thing to write about. Just going to scoop a little bit of foam off and pop it back at the top of the brush. My wife is doing a WebEx session just now, trying to figure out how to use Blackboard online, or learning how to use it online. And my daughter's doing a WebEx session for her school, and then she's going to do a maths test. Just going to sprinkle some water into the brush. This isn't going to be a long lather on this one because it's mainly the slickness I'm looking for with a little bit of cushion. I am using, once again, of course, the leaf razor, but I put a new set of blades in it. I just want to try and figure out what's going on at the moment. I think I might be leaning too hard with it, or pushing, I really don't know. But I've had quite a few weepers the last couple of shaves and I can't put my finger on it. Bit of water. I still get messages from people about Mitchell's Wool Fat saying they struggle to lather it. I can only speak from my own experience using it now. I haven't actually failed really to get a good lather from this soap, no matter what brush I've used. That's not a dig at anyone that can. I did have the Kent shaving soap a long time ago, which is rebranded Williams. It's not Williams, it's fucking Mitchell's, isn't it? Am I calling this Williams for the whole video? I remember. Mitchell's Wool Fat, rebranded Mitchell's Wool Fat, which is Kent shaving soap, and I couldn't lather it for love nor money. It was just dreadful and I hated it. And I sold it, and the person I sold it to loved it, so I was doing something wrong. I know I was, and now I can lather it, no problem. Right, so the razor is the leaf. This one is the mercury version, the colour is mercury. The coating is actually peeling off. Like, I'm not scratching it or doing anything to it. You can probably just see that where it's a little bit more silver there, and that is happening sort of not all over it, but just in specific spots. And it's not like there are bits that get scratched or touch anything, it just seems to peel off for some reason. Can't get my head around it. It's nothing major, but it does happen. So here we go. Now in here, I have loaded 3 Kai blades. Now, I don't know whether you can see the amount of blade exposure down the bottom here. Now this blade down here is the one that does the biggest majority of the cutting. Now, there's way more blade there than it shows with other razors. If you go back and look at other shaves with this, I should really load another blade, and I'll do it next shave. So it'll be interesting to see how this feels, because there's obviously a lot more blade sticking down there. So I'm expecting this to feel a bit more aggressive. So I'm actually using a much lighter touch. Now this feels way more aggressive. It doesn't feel particularly comfortable either. Yeah, it's not a very smooth shave. It is smooth enough. It's certainly getting close. Whether there's any blood or it's a good shave, I'm not sure. But I am going to lather up for the second pass, because it is quite aggressive. It feels a lot more aggressive than it does with even feathers, believe it or not. I think the length of that blade exposure is really making a difference. To how the shave feels. I mean, overall, pretty BBS. There's obviously a tuft there and a tuft there, which is my usual spots, but everything else, I've definitely got some irritation on the back. I can feel it already. I think it's just too efficient. I don't know whether I've got any blood, to be honest. I can't see anything in the mirror as yet, but no doubt there will be, because it does feel like I've got something going on at the back of my head. Layer this on just a little bit thicker this time. Leave the soap just a little bit drier. Not drier, but just where it's giving me a bit more protection. I feel like I actually need it, surprisingly. Normally it's just slickness I'm worried about, but I feel like I need both with this blade razor combination. It's definitely some irritation on the back for sure. Right. This is the first time I've used this razor where it feels like only the bottom blade is cutting. It feels like I'm shaving with a single edge razor. That's not a bad thing. Yeah, I've definitely got a lot of blood. You see that? That's my sort of usual spots when the blades aren't right. This is nothing to do with the razor, this is all about blade choice. I picked these blades just to try them, see what they feel like in this razor. Well, still pretty good shape. I'm just going to rinse all this off now. And we're back. I just had to go and sort out the classroom. It was getting a little bit unruly through there, so they have been sorted. There's no detentions as yet, but I can tell you they're on the way. They will be coming soon. Okay, so I had a few little weepers. I've just literally walked out the room, wet my head, rinsed it all off, dried my head, walked out the room, walked back in. I haven't done anything else. I'm just going to let that settle and sort of dry and just see how many spots of blood we get. Now, that wasn't a particularly comfortable shave with the leaf. It was comfortable enough that I could get by with it, but quite clearly for me, and I would imagine for many, that the Kai blades, it will not suit a lot of people in the leaf razor. I think from the middle to the edge, it's just far too much blade, and it's not very comfortable. I've still had a good shave, it's still BBS, but I can tell you right now, my head's slightly stinging all over. Soap in there. Still a bit of soap in there. I mean, these bigger knobs are excellent to use, they're very comfortable, especially from Robian. You cover a big surface area, the crate keeps the ladder. But they do tend to allow the soap to get to the base and make it a little bit harder to actually clean them out. I haven't lost a hair today. How's the back looking? It doesn't look too bad in the mirror over there, but it's probably worse than what you can see. There's definitely a few spots of blood. So just that one tiny little hair that I lost there, but nothing else. Looks great. Yeah, it's not too bad. You know, I've had way worse head shaves than that. The sort of irritation, burn, or sting, whatever you want to call it, that you get is really easing off now. I'm not feeling it like I did when I first shaved, when I finished the shave, sorry. And as such, I'm going to finish off with some Thayers. And let's go with the good old, this is the first one I ever bought, having watched Chris Bailey over at iLadder. And it is Thayers Lemon Witch Hazel. Now this one is way beyond its use by date, but I'm going to use it anyway. But that's got a little bit of burn there, a little bit of astringent. Fantastic scent though, really nice. In fact, that brings back memories of when I started traditional wet shaving. It really does. Brilliant scent. This teaching thing, I tell you what, it's hard graft. It's hard to graft and go to work. Right, what am I doing now? I've lost all chain of thought. Mitchell's Wool Fat. Vintage soap, or made back in 1893 when it was first made. Original formula, smells fantastic. well, that's 2 pucks, but that's going to last me a very, very, very long time. The brush, as you've just seen, is that Dan Robb custom brush with a 28mm rhodium knot. They're just stunning knots. Really, this is the silver tip version. Beautiful face feel, lovely soft tips. It does gel ever so slightly, not as much as some that you see, but it gels enough. But it releases the lather easily. It works great, it feels great, and it does a great job in the end. The leaf razor. In fact, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a blade and just show you. So that, let me grab a blade just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Right, so what I've got here is a half Gillette 7 o'clock. This is the ones I just used recently. I didn't get a great shave with them either. Obviously, blades are very subjective. Some work, some don't. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you this first. I'll unclip it all, so it should be easy. So there is the head for the leaf. So you can see this bottom blade down here. You can see how much of that blade is actually exposed, and you can see it. So if I flip up the top 2 bits like that, it's a little bit dirty, and take out this bottom blade, like so, and then grab this Gillette 7 o'clock blade. So if I grab that one and pop it in, so we've now got the Gillette 7 o'clock blade. Wait till you see the difference. Look how much blade exposure there is now. See how much of the blade sticks out. You can actually see above how much further the Kai blades hang down from the lip as opposed to this blade. So you can see there, hopefully, you can see there's a little post here. So where this post is, you can see how far the blade is from it. Yeah? If I then flip that back out, grab the Kai blade again, put that back in, flip it down, you can see how much closer it is to that post down there and how much more blade there is. So it's not, for me, a great blade choice for the leaf. The leaf for me is all about comfort, smoothness. I'll be right back. Whose idea was it to keep the kids off? It's like a minefield when you walk in there. Kids fucking chucking bananas at each other. I'll tell you what. So yeah, as I was saying, Kai blades, just not great for this razor. For me personally, that's for you again, Ken. Every time I say that, I'm going to say it. Now, it doesn't mean they're not good blades. I personally don't find them the best blades anymore. I find them a little bit rough that first shave, and I don't really have the patience anymore to go through a full shave of roughness to then find all the shapes of smoothness. I can't be asked. So I try and pick smooth, comfortable blades from start to finish. The Kai in the leaf is not that. It doesn't give me the comfort that I'm expecting from the leaf razor. But I did get a BBS shave. It wasn't too bad in terms of blood and guts and all that sort of stuff. It was actually quite a nice finish, just with a little bit of irritation and a few weepers, but nothing major. Other than that, it was still a great shave. So I'm going to leave that, head over to the face shave, and then go and get those kids tuned in, you know, give them some detention and shit. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. And I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.